And good morning, everyone here at CMC and the people online. Before we start, let's recite the verse for beginning the sutra. Please join palms. The unsurpassed, profound, and sublime Dharma is difficult to encounter even in a billion aeons. Today, we see, hear, receive, and uphold it, vowing to fathom the true meaning of the Tathagata. In last year, this series talk on Śurangama Sutra, we finished chapter 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's quickly recap from the last talk. So the first chapter 1 to 4 are on the topic about the wanderance samatha, because the whole sutra was based on the question raised by Ananda. How can he overcome the difficulties that he met a woman and tried to break his precepts? And he found out that even though he listened to a lot of Dharma talk, but he has no power to overcome this kind of influence. So then he asked Buddha about how to practice the wondrous samatha, the wondrous samabhati, and the wondrous dhyana. Basically, this is a main framework for all the Buddhist practice. And the first part about the wondrous samatha, basically, Buddha trying to dissect the so-called illusory mind that we ordinary people think is our true mind, and revealed what is the true mind. Okay, so he spent 4 chapters to explain what is the illusory mind, and what is the distorted awareness based on individual karma and based on shared karma. Also, Buddha used the 5 skandhas, the great 7 elements, 6 faculties, 12 sights, and 18 realms to unfold the what is not the true mind. Okay, so then Buddha point out, so whatever we know are illusory. So then what is the real things? And Buddha point out the so-called Tathagata Gabra. And this has 3 aspects of our Buddha nature or our true nature. So last talk, we talked about that our true nature, our Buddha nature has 3 aspects. The first aspect is the empty of Tathagata Gabra. It's genuine, wondrous, perfect mind. So try to tell us what is not. And then second aspect is the so-called non-empty Tathagata Gabra. Buddha tried to show that even though our mind is empty with the nature of emptiness, but it has the wondrous power that can illuminate everything. It's luminous, so it can see everything, it can do everything. And the third part is because it cannot attach to existence and non-existence. So this Tathagata Gabra has a non-dual property. That means that is the true source of the wondrous, luminous mind. So by pointing out this, the Buddha nature, this store, the Buddha nature storehouse, Ananda then say, okay, everyone has the same Buddha nature that is originally pure and luminous. And why we are, deluded in ignorance right now. So this is a very famous parable that there is a crazy man. When he looked at the mirror, and then he found out that, oh, my head is in the mirror. And then where is my head? Because my head is in the mirror. And without knowing that the head is always on your body, then he crazy about looking for his own head. That's Buddha said, that's us. You know, you look at the illusory thing and you know it's illusory and you think that you lost your true mind. Actually, you're not. Your true mind is still with you. Okay. Now, then Ananda get very confused, you know. Okay, I have the Buddha nature. You have the Buddha nature. And how to see our Buddha nature? I can't see it. Whatever I perceive, whatever I see, Buddha always say, these are illusory, these are not real. Then how can I see my true Buddha nature that Buddha say it's always with us? Buddha say that, okay, just don't follow your distinctions. This distinction that Buddha explained, the perpetuation of the world, the perpetuation of the beings, and the perpetuation of the karmic retribution that we explained. And basically come back to the original teaching. In the beginning, Buddha try to explain how our initial, the first ignorant thought that is not, that causes to become luminous state. And then there is the so-called the void space exists, and the four elements get aggregates. That's the physical world form. And then we have a deluded thinking, and then there is the appearance of the body. That's called the perpetuation of sentient beings. And then thereafter, based on this wandering, deluded thinking, and also the grasping, then we created a lot of karma, and then we continue the cyclic existence of life. Then this is called the perpetuation of karmic retribution. This is a very core teachings that Buddha explained why this world, this Saha world exists, how it gets formed. And so this is through this three perpetuation that is very famous theory that is mentioned in the awakening of the faith in the Mahayana, the so-called the three subtle appearance, that from the fundamental ignorance, then subjectivity and objectivity arise. Okay, that's the subtle appearances. There are 6 coarse appearances that explain how we illusory perceive this world, and how we created attachment, and then created more karma, and then continue our sufferings life after life. And that's pretty much the story for the first 4 chapters. Now, Ananda still cannot see the Buddha nature. You're not enlightened, just like us. We hear a lot of things, hear a lot of explanation. We still cannot see it, okay? That we have to be honest with our own self. We are not enlightened, right? So Ananda is very honest, and he asks question also for us. Okay, Buddha, can you show me the door to this wonderland? You say this is a Tathagata Gabra, magnificent, pure, luminous. You know, we all have. But I just cannot get in. Can you show me the door to this? So the following chapter, based on these questions. What is the door? Where I can get in to this Tathagata Gabra? Then the question goes like this. So this is Ananda's question, and that's how the second part of this Śurangama Sutra get unfolded. So Ananda asked Buddha, can you explain to us, in this assembly, we are all monastic, and Sravaka practitioners, we want to achieve liberations. But first, how can we renounce the lesser vehicles? The so-called lesser vehicles, it's like for ordinary people. So for practitioners, there are different levels of practitioners. First level is we don't know anything about the true reality of this world, and we just think that everything is real. Now, finally, we get to know the Dharma, and we know that, oh, this is illusory, this is impermanence, and there is no self. Okay, but then you start say, really, this life is filled of suffering. I don't want suffering, I want liberation. So we become a lesser vehicle, Saravaka practitioners. We want to detach all the sufferings and we want to achieve liberation. And yet, Buddha told us that if you want to do that, then you cannot see your Buddha nature, right? So the Ananda continue. First question is, how can I renounce the lesser vehicle? And may you show us the roadmap that these from our original resolve to the Tathagata Nirvana without remainder. Okay, this is a roadmap. So Buddha said that, you see, you are here and you want to go there. First, you have to know where your destination is. And the second is how you walk from here to there. And then, so the third part of the question is, may you enable us, we need instructions. First, to subdue our habitual grasping. This is a big question. See, we are continuously grasp outside the objects, grasp the mental object inside. Our mind constantly need to grasp something so that we know we exist. So it's really hard to let go of grasping because we are afraid that we do not exist anymore. Because our existence is based on the grasping of the objectivity. And so we know the subjectivity exists. So we are afraid of no self. We fear that when there is no subjectivity and objectivity, do we exist? Okay. And the second is how I need an instruction to master the Dharani. The so-called Dharani is a method. The method that you practice, and through this practice, you can uphold all the Dharma, the whole Dharma. So, for example, you can chant Amitabha. It's your practice. But if you can chant from Amitabha with a sound to Amitabha without a sound, and then to the nature of the Amitabha, then you gradually, from the entry level through Amitabha chanting, all the way to your Buddha nature, then Amitabha chanting is your Dharani. Because through this simple method, you see the true nature of yourself. And then all the method can be the Dharani, but how can you master it, your method, so that it become a Dharani? Okay. And then once your method become a Dharani, you can enter Buddha's view. You can see what Buddha see. So that's chapter, the second part of this Śurangama Sutra is called the Wanderer's Samabadi. Okay, in the first chapter 5, Buddha talk about, okay, you want me to show you the door to Tathagata. There are 25 doors. You can choose to enter it, okay? But before Buddha introduced, Bodhisattva introduced the 25 doors to achieve enlightenment, then there are something we need to let go. You know, usually when we practice any method, the first stage is always to let go of what is illusory through the method, and then use the method to directly enter into it. Okay, and then there are the chapter 6, some instruction to the purity and also the esoteric practice of the mantra, Śurangama mantra. And so that will be the Samapadi practice. So in short, these chapters about the Samapadi is what is the right practice of the ultimate true reality. In other words, how you practice so that you can achieve the ultimate true reality. So there are second parts. These two parts, there are two parts. These two parts are related to the so-called two definitive principles. The first is we have to practice based on the right understanding. The second is we have to untie the knot from the 6 faculties. So that's related to the two definite principles. And today we probably do not have time to cover these two. So today I will focus on the first one, the practice based on the right understanding. So Buddha start to talk about it by mentioning that there are 2 definite principles for your resolve to become enlightenment. If you want to achieve enlightenment, to see your Buddha nature, these 2 ultimate principles that we need to check. And we all initiate our bodhicitta. We all want to achieve enlightenment. That's our resolve. But then does your resolve follow these 2 definite principles? If they don't, then your resolve won't lead you to the right destination. So that's very important teaching here. So Buddha says that, okay, you all make a firm resolve to initiate bodhicitta. You want to get enlightenment, you want to help people to get enlightenment, then you have to know that there are 2 definite principles concerning your resolve to become enlightened. Okay, the first one is Buddha said, you must examine the resolve of your practice leads to the enlightenment. If you want to renounce the lesser vehicle and practice bodhisattva path and enter Buddha's view, first examine, is this resolve identical to the fruition? Sorry, this is typo. Fructions of enlightenment of your practice, or is it not? What is so-called fructions of enlightenment? So what is the fruction? If it's the Buddhahood, it's Buddha nature, then your resolve, you need to get in line with it. So how to get in line? So the checkpoint is that if the mind of arising and perishing is the basis of your practice, then it's impossible for you to achieve the Buddha's vehicle of non-arising and non-perishing. Okay, so Buddha nature, our enlightenment is actually non-arising and non-perishing. But our mind, we practice still with the mind of arising and perishing. then you will never get to your destination. So then the problem is, what is the so-called non-arising and non-perishing? Or, what is arising? What is the mind of arising and perishing? So the mind of arising and perishing means there is a gain and lost. Whatever there is a gain and lost, that's the mind of arising and perishing. For example, for ordinary people, we exist in the state, in the condition of arising and perishing without knowing it. And they don't even know about the so-called nirvana. So for example, every day we are getting old, and we still think we are young, death is very far away. And we think that we try very hard, we study very hard, we can make a lot of money. So money is a gain. And then so if I do something and then I lose money, I lost. Something get lost from me. So this concept of gain and loss, it comes from the mind of arising and perishing. But ordinary people don't know about this. So we still expect we can live forever. We still think that I can be healthy forever, or I can see that I can be success all the time in my whole life. If I work hard, if I study this, then I can make a lot of money. And we hope that this principle sustain. Okay, so this is not a right view. Then the second level is called heavenly vehicle. So, oh no, now we know that, our gain and loss is not necessary from our hard working only. There is a karma things. There is a causes and condition things that we need to know. So now I need to cultivate good merits and virtue. If I want to make a lot of money, then I have to donate. I have to help people. And then people will buy my products, right? If I sell iPhone, or you sell Samsung, you see some people buy iPhone, some people buy Samsung. And why those people choose this? It's may not be related to, they have money or not. They just prefer this, prefer that. And then the problem is, when you open a store and try to sell the cell phone, why some people can make money and some don't? You use the same strategy, you have the same knowledge, and you work the same hard. The problem is, he make money and you don't. And something happened to your store, then you lost your properties, and something happened. And then you start to realize, I have to cultivate some merits and virtues in order, to be successful. Okay, that's good. But that's also a gain and loss. Your practice is based on that I want to gain more. I want to lose less. Okay, but that's also good, but it's not an ultimate. Still have the mind of arising and perishing. Now you finally, this life is filled of suffering. I wanted to leave home. I want to become a monastic. I want to practice diligently in full-time practice. This to cease the mundane suffering and afflictions. I want to totally cease those suffering, and I want to obtain the Bodhi. Or you want to depart from life and death. I don't want to come back to this Saha world anymore because it's full of suffering. So I want to go to the other shore of Nirvana. Okay. It's good. This is a good determination. You resolved to achieve liberation. But the problem is, Buddha said, sorry, this is also the mind of arising and perishing. Because you think you can detach, you want to detach You want to throw away the suffering and affliction, and you think you can go to the other shore. Abandon here, you want to go there. Gain and lost, still practice with the mind of arising and perishing. And so Buddha say, based on Mahayana perspective, Sravaka practitioner cannot see Buddha nature because you still have this mind of gain and lost. You want something, you don't want something. And so Buddha say, Bodhisattva and Buddha path is practice the non-arising and non-perishing is the cause. And then you realize the state of non-arising and non-perishing is the goal. So your causes and consequence is with the mindset of non-arising and non-perishing will lead you to realize the non-arising and non-perishing. That's the real Bodhisattva path and Buddha path. So we have to examine what is our resolve, why we want to practice. Are you ordinary people, or you practice heavenly vehicle, or you just Sravaka practitioners, or you are on the Bodhisattva Buddha's path? This is very important because this decided where your destination is. Now, second, next, Buddha say that all conditioned dharmas are subjected to decay. So Buddha tried to explain, okay, with the mind of arising and perishing, we are trapped in this Saha world. And this Saha world has five, basically we are trapped by the four elements and the 5 layers of turbidity. So Buddha continued telling Ananda, we need to contemplate. See, you see this world, all the phenomena, everything is decaying. You will never hear, but you will never hear space is decaying, right? All of a phenomenal appearance, no matter it's a solid concrete buildings, is still decaying, and your body is decaying. Your thought is ever changing. You know, your relationships, your belongings, whatever, it's daily basis. Everything is changing. It's moment by moment. But you see, the space is the analogy. Space is on conditions. Space never changes, depends on the conditions. Okay. And then secondly, and in our body, what appears as solid is composed of the earth elements, just like our teeth, like bones. These are the solid parts of our body. Actually, it's the solidities come from the earth elements. And how about the moist of our body? For example, we have blood and water. 70% of our bodies are waters, and these come from the water elements. And the warmth, our body temperatures come from the fire elements, and the movement, our breathing or circulation come from the wind elements. And all these 4 elements, these 4 elements trap us, so that our pure, perfect, wondrous enlightenment, luminous mind is divided into functions of seeing, listening, touching, and cognitions. And so the 5 layers of turbidity sustain, okay? So for example, in the previous talk, we talk about the, once the Puruna asked Buddha, you know, the earth, the water, the wind, and the fire, they they are not comparable each other, right? When water exists, fire cannot burn, and vice versa. And also when the winds blew, then the earth element get blown away. So they cannot compatible with each other. But Buddha says that, sorry, in Buddha's view, all the element, the nature of all these four elements are compatible. So it is our perceptions that frame this the property of these elements so that they are not compatible with each other. When our perception of these four elements function differently, then our six organs, our organs develop into divided into different functions. For example, our eye can only see, our eye cannot hear. And then our ear can listen to the sound but cannot taste. So all these cognitions are divided. It actually, originally, we are omniscient. We can do everything. But now, because of the four elements, we are, framed by this property. So now the very important topic is about the 5 layers of turbidity. And we all hear about this term. This Saha words is the world of 5 turbidity. So what are they, and how can we transcend this 5 turbidity? Buddha first explained, why the turbidity formulated, and what is turbidity, Ananda. So, for example, water in its original state is pure and clear, while soil, ashes, and sand in their original state are solid and opaque, right? So this water and soil has two different properties, but these defining attributes of water and soil, they are mutually incompatible. And yet, if you throw soil into the water and stir it, then the soil loses its solidity. It becomes muddy, and the water lost its purity. And so together they appear clouded or turbid. So the 5 layers of turbidity occur in the same way. Basically, two different things with different property, if we bring them together, mix it, and it becomes turbidity. And you lost to each of their original property. So that's what happened. So you have a clear glass of water, you put a soil, then it becomes muddy, just like this. This is called a turbidity. Now, the number one turbidity of time. Okay, this is a very, very, very important but very fundamental problem we have is the concept of time. Okay, why we have concept of time? Buddha says that as you look into space throughout all 10 directions, Ananda, no separation can be made between space and your visual awareness of it. Okay, for example, how do I know that this empty room? I use my visual awareness to know that there is empty space here. But you see, if I have no visual awareness, I don't know there is empty space. If there is no empty space, my visual awareness perceive nothing. So, but then the problem is, can you identify my visual awareness in this space anywhere? We talked about that in the previous talk. You cannot identify. See, I know this space, and then can you find your awareness anywhere? And vice versa. Can you find space in your visual awareness? So Buddha said that you see space exists, but space has no true entity. And when there exists a visual awareness, then it's not a state of enlightenment. Because your awareness perceives something, okay, that has no entity. And so it's illusory. Okay, so this entanglement of space and visual awareness, they intertwined, mix together, then it becomes a turbidity. The space is not clear anymore. It's not conditioned, not unconditioned anymore, and your visual awareness got limited. And then so this is called the turbidity of time. Okay, so in other words, our concept of time comes from our attachment to the space. So the space, the attachment, the grasping of time and space are the fundamental reason for sentient beings to think that they exist. Okay, so can you imagine when there is no time and space, how you exist? We need the time, space, and space. I sit here is the space, right? And then today is what time and what year. So people know that, oh, on the day of something, the Venerable Chang-Hwa sitting at CMC to talk about something. You identify me with time and space. The concept of time, actually, from Einstein's point of view, he once said that, sorry, time is an illusion. Time is an illusion, or mentioned by some of the very famous scholars. They don't talk about this out of nothing, okay? They have some theory, they have some model to support this comment. So NASA in 1989, okay, I check out their experiment, okay? The experiment does not mean to examine the concept of time, but then it ends up to let us know why time, the concept of time is illusory. So NASA, go to the space, okay, the institute that study, the other planets things. They design experiments. They ask volunteers that enter into a cave underground. They provide a constant temperature, good air, and a lot of things for you to live in the cave, but there is nothing to show the time. You can access computer, but your computer doesn't show time, okay? Nothing that you can indicate the time change. And the original goal for this experiment is actually try to develop a condition for the astronaut, if they fly into the space, maybe for years and years, try to reach to other planet or maybe try to live there, then they are in a sealed box of the spacecraft, and what would happen to them? But they accidentally find out the original goal for that. There is a lady that got selected. She entered, very healthy woman, enter into the cave. Originally, they tried to let them stay maybe 200 days or something. And then the experiment got terminated after 130 days. What happened? Without the time, then this lady lost her biological clock. You know, how she slept, how she eat, how she perceive things start to get very confused. And then there is no sunrise, sunset, right? And no clock. She didn't know what happened, but she just continued his livings in the cave. Then suddenly, I think the scientists found out that they need to get her out of the cave, otherwise she will be dead. And then when she come out to the ground, the first sentence she says is, "So good to see the sun." Okay, and then they study all kinds of physiological and mental reactions, and then the scientists ask her, do you think how long do you think you stay in the cave? She just say, "Oh, I don't know, maybe 2 months." Actually, she stayed 4 months. So she lost track of the time. And without the time, actually our body physically and physiologically don't know what to follow, actually. So this time and space, and she is limited into very small space. So this experiments told us that we are so used to the concept of time and space. Without this, actually, we don't know how to live. That's a problem. Okay, so Sifu said that for practitioners, actually, I remember Sifu in his biography, she mentioned that when he was in a solitary retreat, she only can stay in this room. She cannot go out, right? And then but practice meditation, she entered into samadhi or something. She found out that even though he was limited into a very small space, but he is united with unlimited time and space. Unlimited. That means he is not limited by time and space. So what kind of state is that? We can only know without our direct experience. What is this? How can we exist without time and space? And so for high practitioners, they transcend the concept of time and space. And so how they perceive these worlds are different. Okay, remember, time and space doesn't mean that, nowadays, through computer, we know that there is Africa, there is, Australia, there is America, there's Asia, there are all kinds of countries. My view is broad. I'm not a frog in the well, I know a lot of space. Now I know there's Mars, there is a moon, there is a galaxy. So my view of space expand. And Sifu say, yeah, the concept of the concept of space expand. And so does your sense of self. You will think that if I know a lot, big space, my mind is broadened, my mind open up, so myself will become smaller. So we say, sorry, no, it's opposite. Because how you perceive space get bigger. So that's why for high practitioners, when they become the so-called big self, they feel like I'm united with the whole universe. Then sometimes they will feel like I'm the governor of this universe. This self is so big, right? And our goal is no self. So the perception of the space get bigger, then we have more attachment from the time. Okay, so now we are trying to find more space to live. Now we compete, not just the land on earth. See, every country has their territory that we have to protect our space, right? Now we have to compete the territory in the space, in other planets. So this attachment get bigger and bigger. So this space and visual awareness get intertwined, then the time or the kapha that will cause that pretty much frame us here, and we continue to the second turbidity. And from the five skandhas point of view, actually this form aggregates the form. So from the time and space, all the physical world exists, including our body, this physical mountains, rivers, and all that exists in this framework, frame of time and space, okay? Now, the second is the turbidity of perception. Basically, from this turbidity, our sense of self, the identity get established, okay? Here, Buddha says that your body is composed of the four elements: your visual awareness, your hearing, your tactile awareness, and your mental awareness become strictly defined by these four elements. And this, the so-called entanglements of awareness and the four elements becomes the turbidity of perceptions. Okay, so these four elements form the so-called our physical body. These four elements form the so-called world, this world existence, the mountain and the river and building and all that. And when our awareness, you see, space has no awareness, right? And our awareness is our mind. So when the sentient mind mix up with non-sentient objects, these two shouldn't be compatible, right? Material and mind are two different things, but we now mix them together, and that the object become the so-called existence, and our perceptions get framed up by these objects, and this become a turbidity. Now here, another turbidity come from our awareness and these four elements. And so we identify this body is my body. This is my temple, okay? My computer, okay? My relationship with you, whatever, everything, the sense of self, the sense of identity got established by our mind, grasping the appearance of the four elements. Okay, so that is the so-called sensation aggregates. We have a sensation about our body and this environment based on our grasping of our awareness with the four elements. And so this become, once we have a sense of self, then our awareness also get restricted. Why is that? Because I have my identity. You have the sense of yourself, myself, and you become separated. My body and the environment get separated. All because there is a sense of self. Now it's become a problem. I will insist I'm right. I have to protect my body. And I think I know you, but I don't know you. Okay? So all our problems come from the sense of self. And all our practice try to remove the sense of self. When we get to the no self, we will see the true reality, but we are afraid. We will not let go. Our grasping is always there, just like our grasp the concept of time and space. We are fear. We fear about no time and no space. And the third one, we go to the turbidity of afflictions. How that happened? Okay, now the first turbidity come from our visual awareness stirred up with space, right? The second turbidity come from our awareness stirred up with the four elements. Now is our mind consciousness stirred up with the objects. Okay, so it's getting closer and closer. So Buddha continue, your mind is habituated to recollecting the past, to being aware of the present, and to anticipating the future. That's what we do every day, right? Because of these habits, the six consciousness arise and embrace the six kinds of perceived objects. We need to, how we recollect the memory in the past. Our mind need to grasp the mental object in our memory, right? So you remember how your mothers looked like, how your childhood hometowns looked like, what everything looked like in the past. But the problem is the mother in your mind is not your real mother, right? We grasp it, our past memory. The object we grasp is the mental object in our memory. And I'm looking at you, right? You're looking at me. You are grasping the present moment. My image, your image, my eyes grasp it, or your ears grasp my sound. So, you know, I'm sitting here, listen to a Dharma talk. And how about anticipating the future? Oh, we are doing a lot of it, right? You're sitting here, you think that, oh, I worry so much. I listen to the Dharma talk. I hope that I can, lessen my suffering, or, something happened to my families. I try to find a way that I could resolve my children's problem, my parents' problems, this world's problem. And the election is a problem. I need to find a Dharma. How I can improve this world. We need to pick a good president. We worry so much about the future. We worry so much about other people. We try to control our future, right? And so here Buddha says, if you detach those objects, no matter it's your mental objects, your anticipation, your values, your ideas, your thought, and whatever you perceive, you detach from these objects, you will find out they have no attributes. all the attributes are created by your mind. It's not your true face. Okay. And if you detach from your mind consciousness, this object has no entity. Okay. So actually, in other words, we think those objects, no matter it's mental objects or your, the physical object, you think they are real. You think they have real entity is because the function of your conscious mind, right? And then, so if you detach, you found that and all the object has no attribute, all the object has no entity. Why we attach to it? But we do. So the objects we perceive and our conscious mind entangle with each other, then delusion formulates. And the mind becomes turbid with affliction, right? All these perceptions, we generate a lot of worries, afflictions. We cannot let go of our past. And then we are not satisfied with the present moment. Everything is chaos. We should go this way. You should go that way. The present moment, I'm just not satisfied with it. And then you have a lot of worry about the future. Am I going to be healthy forever? Am I going to be successful forever? Is my family going to be okay? Is this country, this society, all these crazy people out there, will they hurt my family members or hurt my loved ones? We worry so much. Okay, all this come from that we think all these objects are real. And our conscious discriminating mind keep grasping this object. And the problem, again, your conscious mind, you grasp, okay, we have a president, Biden. So people will think, we have no hope. This Biden is not strong enough, okay? But the problem is there is a group of people who thinks that Biden is good, I don't want crazy Trump as our president. If President Trump is our president, our country will go crazy. This world will become crazy. Okay, the same object, okay, these people, Biden or Trump, our conscious minds are different. So we generate totally different afflictions, right? That's the problem. Our conscious mind discriminates so much. And we grasp even the same object. Actually, the object we grasp are different because the Biden in your mind is different from the Biden in my mind. Okay? Any object, any people, any phenomenon we perceive actually are totally different object, but we think they are the same because our conscious minds are different. Okay, but we don't agree. So you need to agree with me. I told you this is the right way to go. We should operate this country in this way. Okay, then we have so much afflictions because of that. Now the third layer of affliction right now. Okay, now the next, this is in the 5 skandha, this is called the perception. Okay, even though the name terminology, okay, sometimes got messed up, but here, the 5 skandha, the form, the sensation, and the perceptions go to the perception. That's where all our afflictions come from. Now, the 4th layer would continue, okay, day and night. beings ceaselessly come into being and perish. Not just the things come and go, phenomena come and go, and our thought come and go as well. So they, us, always desire to continue to exist in this world indefinitely, yet their karmas leads them to continually move from one land to another. So now the thought of desire and the karma entangle with each other. Then delusion get formulated. And that's the stability of sentient beings. From the five skandha, it's called volition aggregate. So we constantly, actually the arising and perishing, constantly functioning. And yet we have a thought, we have a desire. See, we are all afraid to die, right? More or less. So everyone try or want to live at least longer, if it's not indefinitely. And then the problem is, as a human being, how long can you live? Probably 120. No one live over 150, right? Or 200. That's our karma as a human being. With this physical body, our karma, when the time comes, we have to leave this world and get reborn into other realm, right? If you are lucky to be human again, and probably you will not be born in America. You're probably born in Africa, because you don't have enough merit to be born in America, to have a wealthy life, good condition, good environment. Go to Africa. You are hungry all the time. People do not have enough food. The environment is so dirty. Or you might be born, you're lucky enough, you are born as a dog in America, and you're good, you can have vacation, and you have a hotel, animal hotel, and or you can do salon, better than the people in Africa, right? But if you are not lucky, you don't have enough merits, you're born in China, then you probably, people cook you. They eat dog meat, right? Then your life is very suffer. So your karma, our karma, even though we all want to live longer, we want to have a better life, we want to have a good things, then the problem is our karma operated all the time, and it push us end this life and go to next life, and we cannot control our next life. And then this become a turbidity, because our desires always cannot match the reality, right? And then so we continue to exist and exist because our karma push us to die, to reborn, to die, to reborn. So that's why there's the ocean of sentient beings, okay, that come and go in this sixth realm, or three worlds. Our karma brings us here and there, but we still have the same desire that we wanted to live forever. Okay, so that's the stability of sentient beings. So here, with understanding of the karma, then we have to know, where does the karma come from? Okay, how it operated. Now, we go to the fifth layer of stability, of lifespan. Now, Buddha continue, okay? The fundamental natures of your seeing, your hearing, and your other awareness, tasting, all that, do not differ from one another, but the 6 objects of perceptions separate them so that your awareness is forced to become differentiated. What does that mean? This is a big talk in the following chapters. You see, we can see only, our eyes can only see, right? Our ears can only hear. So my ear cannot, if I close my eye, my ear cannot see you, right? And without touching, I don't know, this is a clothes or a metal. I need touching, I close my eyes. If I have not touchings, I don't know how this feel like. So our sixth organ has a fixed function. Why is that? Because we are the sixth consciousness, because the sameness and the differences, the sameness of accents and the differences of functions lose their ground. What does that mean? Okay, actually, our sixth sense consciousness share the same accents. Actually, each of our organs can do everything because they share the same nature. For example, Buddha asked Ananda, I'm giving Dharma talk. What organ are you using to hear my Dharma talk? Ananda said, my ear, of course. I hear the voice. Okay, now the problem is your ear hear my voice while your mouth is replying me. Right? If they don't share the same accents, how your mind understand the Dharma, and then your mouth is replying, say, I'm using my ear to listen to the Dharma. So what is the thing that is the crucial part that connect your ear and your mouth? Right? I'm seeing you. My eyes seeing you. But my mind could generate, oh, I don't want to see these people again. I don't want to see him again, But your sixth consciousness is generate idea, but your eye is seeing that person. And who passed the message from your eye to your sixth consciousness to generate, so that you generate idea, I don't want to see that person. You see that? Okay, we think that the 6 organs are not connected to each other. They only do separate job. But we operate together. There must be something. The accents actually are the same, the sameness. But we lose the ground. We think they are different. And then our 6 organs function differently. The hearing and tasting, seeing are totally different things. And they operate differently. And we think they are different. Okay, so when the sadness and differences lose their ground, then again, that's how our lifespan got exist. Okay, this is too abstract. Now, here we talk about consciousness aggregate. Now we need to ask ourselves, what is life? How does our lifespan come exist? Why the sameness and the differences lose their ground? We have a life, the so-called life. What do you think life is? So my mother, get pregnant. So on my birthday, my body came out to this world. So I have a baby body. Then I start to grow up, and then grow up, get old, and then I die. Then I lose my body. Then from the birth to die, this is my life. So the problem is, why you have longer life and I have shorter life? Why your life is so good and mine is so miserable? Why you all have meet good people and I always meet bad people? I'm working so hard. Why I cannot get rich? Life. How does it come into exist? The sameness and the differences get messed up. Okay, here. We have to talk about, you see 6 organs, contact with 6 objects, right? And it operates, oh, this smells good, this smells bad. Why you know the durian? Some people cannot tolerate durian, right? Durian. Oh, some people just like the durian. And so does the stinging tofu, okay? People love stinging tofu. Some people just cannot bear with it. How you are a mother of 3 children, same gene, same environment, same lifestyle. Why this kid, they don't like carrot? This doesn't like banana. This don't eat vegetables. Why is that? And this kid, you see, if you are old enough, you live old enough, you see your kids grow up to 50 years old, and you will find out, even between our friends, you found that those people who always, straight A in the college, 20 years later, they are not that successful, But those people, always the last, low rank, they become president or the boss of the company and make a lot of money. They don't study hard, Why is that? Okay, why this kid looks so beautiful, but people just, not very enthusiastic about this kid. These kids, people love them, love him. Wherever these kids go, people just love them. And why is that? As a mother, as a parent, you look at your kids. At the age of 20, at the age of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, you will see their life may not be what you think or what you expected. And this life, and sometimes your healthy kid, some of the kids, they just die young. Why they cannot live longer? So all this come from the 8th consciousness. Okay, here, the 5 skandhas from the form, sensation, perception, volition, and consciousness. Now, you see that? The turbidity of lifespans is actually the consciousness aggregates. Our lifespans are decided by the 8th consciousness. All the seed that we accumulate in the past and the seed that you accumulated in the present life, they come together and they become a force, life force that decided how long you can live and how good you will live. This is a very big theory in Yogacara. Try to explain, what carry on life after life, our eighth consciousness. And who attached to this eighth consciousness? The seventh consciousness, grasp it as self. So always the seventh consciousness, hold tightly about the eighth consciousness. This is me. This is me. Okay, so when you are born, when you are still in the womb of your mother, your eighth consciousness enter first. You grasp it. This is my body, my mother and father. You enter. Your karma drive you to pick your father and mother. You cannot complain. Why I have my father and mother? I prefer, maybe I should born in a royal family. So can you decide? Yeah, you decide. Your karma decide, not your desire decide. Okay, and then parents say, "Oh, how can I have this kid? It's so much trouble." Sorry, you pick him, you pick them. Your karma picked them. In other words, your karma and your kid's karma resonate. That's why you become parents and kids. You are in the same family, okay? And all the karma come from the eighth consciousness. So we cannot complain others. It's our karma. Our seeds in the eighth consciousness started it. Okay, now, the problem is here again. My eighth consciousness dominate how my six organs interact with the six objects. Your eighth consciousness dominate. Your six organs interact with the six objects. And my consciousness, eighth consciousness, are different from your eighth consciousness. And my organs, some people have very sensitive smell ability and hearing ability. We all have different ability from our six faculties. And we perceive the so-called same object, the Biden, the Trump, we perceive it differently. And we make different comments and decided to react differently. So now, not just that my eight consciousness conflicts with your eight consciousness, my six organ conflicts with your six organs. How I perceive the object conflict with your objects. How you perceive the objects. I don't agree with you. You don't agree with me. Actually, I don't know you, and you don't know me. That's the difference. Everything becomes so different. Everything are so different. And yet, by nature, we are all the same. We have the same pure Buddha nature. We have the omniscient ability of the six organs. My eye can see, can hear, can taste, etc. So does yours. We should perceive the same pure object. We lost the ground of the sameness and we attach to the differences. So you have your life, I have my life, and all the seeds in my differentiated consciousness, eighth consciousness, always drive me here and there. And you drive your life here and there. So now this life, we are good friends. Next life, I don't know, probably I'm your pet. Okay. And how about previous life? Maybe I'm the king, and you are my soldiers. The relative relationships change as well. So that's our life, based on the five turbidity. Okay, now let's make a conclusion. Five turbidity come from our mind messed up with the form. Sentient mind with non-sentient form. When these two mess up, and then the turbidity arise, the time come from our visual awareness with the space. Our perception come from our cognition with the four elements. Our affliction come from our discriminated conscious mind with the six objects. And the turbidity of sentient beings exists because we have thought of desire messed up with mixed with our karma. And then what is our lifespan? Lifespan come from we mess up our true nature with our distinct functions. Okay, this is five turbidity. Also can be explained with the five skandhas, five aggregates. Okay, now the most important question is, how should I get out of it? Always, how can I get out of it? First, we have to know where we are, and then we find a way to get out of it. So Buddha say, Ananda, now you wish to transform your visual, aural, tactile, and mental awareness to be in accord with the true eternity, true bliss, true self, and the true purity of the Buddha. And then in order to accomplish this, you must pull out the root of death and rebirth and relied on the pure and perfect nature of non-arising and non-perishing. How? Use the stillness of the mind to reverse the illusory state of arising and perishing back to your original state of enlightenment. Use the original luminous enlightenment whose nature is non-arising and non-perishing as the basis of your practice. Then your practice will achieve the attainment of the perfect fruitions. What does that mean? Okay. What is just, you see the turbid, right? Originally, the soil and water, they are not compatible. You stir it, mess up together, it becomes muddy water. And you let it sit still and quiet. And gradually, the soil will precipitate, and the clear water will reveal. That's the way we do it. But how can we practice the stillness of the mind? We cannot use the mind of arising and perishing. Once our mind is in arising and perishing, you stir the water. Your mind cannot get stilled and quiet. So the mind of non-arising and non-perishings are the key. So when the sand and silt have been removed, when it settles, precipitate, you remove it, and the clear water remains. Then fundamental ignorance has been eliminated forever. So when the water is pure and totally clear, nothing will be a cause of afflictions. All will be in accord with the pure and wondrous attributes of Nirvana. Okay, so I end the first principle here. Next time, I will talk about the second definitive principles is in the Bodhisattva vehicles, we need to determine our mind to let go of everything that has conditioned attributes. So in order to get back to the mind of non-arising and non-perishing, we have to examine the source of our affliction and remove it. Okay, that's the second definitive principle we will talk about next time. Okay, I don't know if anyone have questions, or we only have 1 minute left. Any questions? Okay. You can always go back to the YouTube recording, and this need sometimes to listen again and again, and then reflect. And that the Śurangama Sutra, again, they are not talking about our mundane or our ordinary concepts of time, for example, time and space, and about life. And we always need to know what are the illusions, and then remove the see through the true reality of the illusion as no essence. Then we can see directly our true mind. Okay, so we end here. Let's do the transfer of the merit. Okay, so please join palms. May the virtuous merits adorn and glorify the pure land of the Buddhas. Upwardly, we repay the 4 layers of gratitude. Downwardly, we alleviate the sufferings of the 3 destinies. May those who see and hear the Dharma generate Bodhi mind, exhausting this body of retribution. May we be born in the land of supreme bliss.